No voice of the street they talk so. Wetin you wan hear no be play gist. This one no be just story, no real matter wey dey happen for our area. She think say she fit lie, but street ear long and street eye dey open. Because wetin dey come next go shock you pass thunder. Part 1: The Perfect Scheme. Sandra was a beautiful 25-year-old woman who believed in only one thing: money. Raised in the suburbs of Lagos, she grew up watching her mother struggle to survive after her father abandoned them. She made a silent vow she would never end up poor like her mother. That's why when she met Daniel, a wealthy tech entrepreneur in his 30s, she knew what she had to do. Daniel was soft-spoken, recently divorced, and looking for a fresh start. Sandra pretended to be everything he was looking for: simple, calm, church-going. But behind her soft voice and gentle eyes was a heart trained in manipulation. Her plan: fake a pregnancy, force a rushed marriage, secure the bag, live her dream life. But what she didn't know was that Daniel came from a family deeply rooted in spiritual covenants, and nothing fake could remain hidden for long. 2 months into dating Daniel, Sandra decided it was time to execute her plan. She told him she had missed her period and was feeling weak. She began acting strangely, avoiding her usual spicy foods, pretending to vomit in the morning, and rubbing her belly like a woman already forming a bond with her unborn child. Daniel, ever the gentleman, became deeply concerned. "Let's go to the hospital," he said gently. "Let's be sure." But Sandra resisted with soft eyes and a trembling voice. "Baby, I already know. I felt this before. I want us to keep it between us for now." To seal her lie, she bought a fake positive pregnancy test online, a clear 2-line result from a counterfeit lab, complete with a forged clinic stamp. Daniel, unaware of the deceit, lit up like a Christmas tree. "God has given me another chance," he whispered. Sandra smiled sweetly, but inside, she was already counting her blessings: bride price, baby shower gifts, permanent financial security. But what she didn't know was that Daniel's bloodline was not ordinary. It was protected by spiritual agreements made generations ago. And fake things had a way of triggering real consequences when mixed with sacred things. Part 3: Family Reactions. That night, Daniel called his mother, Mama Nkechi, in Oka. "Mama," he said proudly, "Sandra is pregnant." There was a long silence. Not joy. Not anger. Just silence. Then Mama Nkechi spoke in Igbo, softly but firmly. "You said pregnant. Did you confirm it with God?" Daniel chuckled. "Mama, this is not a spiritual thing, oh. It's real. She even showed me the test." But Mama Nkechi was not the type to accept things at face value. She was a retired prayer warrior, a woman who had battled spirits, fasted for 40 days straight, and had dreams that came true within hours. That night, she lit her prayer candles, anointed her room, and went into deep prayer. In her sleep, she had a vision. Sandra stood in front of a mirror, smiling in a white gown, her hands on her belly. But in the mirror's reflection, her stomach was flat. No child. No movement. Only dark smoke rising behind her, and snakes slithering at her feet. Mama Nkechi woke up gasping, her chest heavy. She reached for her Bible. This one is not sent by God." Part 4: Spiritual Warning. Meanwhile, Sandra began to experience strange things. She woke one night to find blood, thick, dark, and cold, on her bedsheet. It wasn't like a normal period. There were no cramps, no signs leading up to it. Just blood, as if something had been cut loose in her sleep. She panicked and rushed to a nearby chemist. After a short checkup, the woman looked at her suspiciously and asked, "You said you're pregnant. Who told you that? Your womb is clean." Sandra forced a laugh and walked out. But that night, she had her first nightmare. She was trapped in a room of fire, surrounded by crying babies with hollow eyes. A tall woman dressed in red stood before her and screamed, "You mocked the sacred gift. Now you will bleed until you confess." Sandra jumped out of sleep, drenched in sweat. She checked her phone, it was 3 a.m. From that night, her peace was gone. Every knock on the door made her flinch. Every dream felt like a warning. She tried praying, but her tongue felt heavy. The lies were already opening doors. Part 5, the first suspicion. The next morning, Daniel called her with excitement. Sandra, Mama is coming next week. She's bringing our family prophet to bless you and the baby. Sandra froze. Prophet, she repeated. Yes. He's like a father to the family. He sees things others don't. He wants to pray over you and the child. Sandra's heart dropped to her stomach. No problem, she said softly, masking her fear. But the moment the call ended, she began pacing the room. She had heard about real prophets, the kind who could expose secrets just by looking at you. She wasn't ready. Her lie wasn't strong enough to stand spiritual fire. She called her friend, Tonya, in tears. Babe, he don't cast. Daniel's people won't carry prophet come bless fake bell. Tonya gasped. You dey mad. You need to go church or something. Cancel am. I tried. He no gree. Later that night, Sandra received a strange anonymous message. Your womb may be empty, but the spirit world is already full of judgment. Her hands trembled. The lies were no longer just hers. They had entered spiritual territory, and the spirits had started watching. The following Friday, Sandra dressed modestly in a long gown and tied a scarf on her head, trying her best to look holy and humble. Daniel's mother arrived with the family prophet, a quiet, tall man in white native wear. He spoke very little, but his eyes scanned everything like fire. As they entered the house, Sandra forced a smile and served them drinks. She avoided the prophet's eyes, but he never looked away from her. After a short greeting, he asked Daniel, "Can I speak to her alone?" Sandra's heart skipped. Inside the bedroom, the prophet looked at her and said nothing for a full minute. Then he spoke in a calm voice. "The spirit of truth is at war with you." Sandra pretended not to understand. "Sir, I don't know what you mean." He stood and pointed to her belly. "There is no child in that womb. And you know it." Sandra began to cry. "Please, sir. I didn't mean harm. I just wanted to keep him," she whispered. The prophet's eyes softened, but his voice didn't. "What you have started is no longer just a lie. You've invited spirits of barrenness, manipulation, and shame. If you don't confess now, this fake pregnancy may become a real curse." Part 7, the confession, or so it seemed. Sandra, terrified and exposed, begged the prophet not to tell Daniel. "Please, I will fix it," she said. "Just give me time." The prophet, after a long sigh, agreed to wait. "You have 1 week," he warned. "Fix it spiritually and physically, or your life will never know peace again." But instead of changing, Sandra decided to cover her lie with another lie. She called Daniel and pretended to cry. "Baby, I just had a miscarriage. I was in pain all day but didn't want to worry you." Daniel rushed to her place, filled with sadness. He held her, kissed her forehead, and wept with her. "You should have told me," he said. Sandra nodded, faking tears. I didn't know how to." Daniel called his mother and the prophet. They prayed with her over the phone. Everyone believed her. But that night, as she slept, Sandra saw a demon crouched at the foot of her bed, laughing and licking her toes. "You lie to men, but you feed us truth. We'll stay now. Thank you." She woke up screaming. Part 8, curse activated. From that night, Sandra's life began to spiral. She lost appetite. Her skin turned pale. Her stomach began to swell in a strange way, not like pregnancy, but like a rotten balloon. People around her began to whisper. One day, she walked into a boutique, and the owner said, "You again. I saw you in my dream last night. You were bleeding from your eyes." Sandra laughed awkwardly and left. But everywhere she went, strangers looked at her strangely, some with fear, some with pity. One night, her best friend Tonya slept over and woke up screaming. "I saw something crawling under your skin while you slept," she shouted, packing her things to leave immediately. Sandra tried to act normal, but the mirror in her bathroom started reflecting things that weren't there: snakes, blood, shadows behind her. The fake pregnancy had now turned into a real spiritual infestation.